I saw a film about the making of Jaws called Flawless, the first blockbuster that Hollywood ever had under Steven Spielberg, 24 years old, 24, 26 years old. Randomly, it came across my phone yesterday. Flawless, the making of Jaws. I saw that movie as a young man, and it was filled with so many flaws. The running joke when they were filming it was flawless or flawed. It's like, but sometimes the most beautiful things come out of the most failures that you have. And the movie was so flawed that even the director, Steven Spielberg, was trying to get out of it. He was the second choice to be picked to direct that movie. And he started, and he was courageous and young and brave, and he was learning while he was going, even writing the script as they were filming. They had disaster upon disaster while filming that movie. Personality conflicts, arguments, troubles, things going wrong, not understanding the weather, the sky, the sea currents, and it ends up being one of the most memorable films in American filmography. Jumping, falling, bleeding along the way. See, so many times we spend so much time trying to be so perfect without knowing the one who's perfect, thinking we will achieve anything by the exactness of our own flawed, imperfect way. God uses the imperfect for his perfect will. And you can get so caught up with your actions, your ego and pride to be perfect, that you forget that he works in between your failures. And between that space are God's successes, not yours. Else you would glory about what you did, what you accomplished, who you are, what you know, rather than what God has done, who God is, and what God knows. And relationships work the same way, which is why many people do not forgive other people of their wrongs. They want people to be perfect when they themselves are not perfect. They want to throw others under the bus. It happens when you are not under God's bus. When you're not under God's thumb, you'll put people under your own thumb. But how could you not forgive your brothers and have love and compassion when God does that for you? But you don't acknowledge him, nor do you give him the glory, your tithes or your offerings, your prayers or your obedience to him, which is why you do that to others. You don't even recognize it is the Lord who's giving you the breath to breathe and the strength to move. So you're very lazy about your faithfulness with God. You're lazy about your Bible studies, your fellowship with brothers and sisters in the Lord. You're lazy. More than lazy, you are purposely avoiding it. Your hatred of the very God who's given you the breath you breathe. And yet those who do not give you the breath in your body, those who are not the joy of your soul, you are so faithful to it. Rather, it's a job you're working or a bottle you're drinking or a sports team or a casino table or a woman or a dog. Because you are imperfect in the worst way. And that is, you don't even acknowledge a perfect God and his grace to you. You use that word grace and wouldn't understand it if it spat in your eye. When you understand grace, you would be like David. No matter what, you will receive the messengers that he sends to you. You wouldn't be offended so easily, but you don't understand grace. You think it's there to serve you. You have forgotten. Grace is there for you to serve him. It is given to you that you would humble yourself and serve him. that you would work the routine and discipline of your spiritual life more so than you do with your work life or your gym life or your sports life or your sex life, but you don't. Perfect. It is the perfect heart. The heart that is solely committed, the same way a woman would expect that in a marriage, or a husband would expect a loyal wife. Even though she may burn the toast and not how to make a roast, but she knows he loves him. He knows she loves him. She's not the best cook. She doesn't read so many books. She's not the brightest light in the room or the smartest one in a class. But what she does have is she loves me. He loves me. His banner over me is love. And therefore, love will cover a multitude of the mishaps of the wife you didn't get or the husband that's not that rich. That's what love is. That's what true perfection is, when it's love. You're not looking for a reason not to talk. You're not looking for a reason not to love, not to cook. You do it anyway. Not because you have to, because you want to. Why? Because you love them, regardless of their imperfections. Imperfections are not egregious sin, by the way. Imperfection isn't having an affair. Imperfection isn't getting drunk and drugged. Imperfection isn't beating your wife. That's not imperfection. That's not a misdemeanor. In those cases, that's a flawed heart. You can't do those things and say, I'm not perfect, as if those things are allowed for people that are not perfect. That's not what that means. When you love with all your heart, when you love the Lord with all your heart, with all your might, that love is your shield and your buffer. It is the wall, the shell, the arbor, the hoop of the protection. It is the thing that turns your feet the other way, that keeps your mouth shut from the things you say. It'll temper your words and temper your anger. And it will fuel the fire of your loyalty and your faithfulness. Grace, as Guy often says, is God giving you for those things that you cannot, not for those things that you will not. And the will is something that you have to give. You have to submit willfully. Whosoever will, let him come. Choose this day whom will you serve. Love in between. The flaws do become the features because God shines in that flaw. Because why? Not because you're failing, but because you invite him to take over. He shines in that flaw. I'll go anyway. I'll do anyway. I'll give anyway. Not because I think I can afford it, but because I know, Lord, that you're Lord over it. I'll go that extra mile. I'll say that extra prayer. I'll sing that extra song. I'll dance that extra dance for you, Papa, when I'm bringing in the ark for you, not for the woman watching me, not for the crowd, not for the television cameras, not for TikTok, not for YouTube, not for fame, not for fortune, but for you, Lord. And then when you do that, no one can speak in your ear against another person. You will say what Job said to his wife, shut up, you speak like a foolish person. You will be singly hearted to the Lord. Remember that.